guys, and welcome to my Dead Rising tier list for the psychopaths in the games. Alright, so let's do this. Alright, we're gonna start with... Just give me a second. Alright, so we'll start with Sullivan. I'll put him in A since it was a hard boss fight. Very challenging. But since you at least get to find health and stuff and get a chance to heal, I wouldn't say it's harder than another boss that's similar to him. But yeah, for the challenge and stuff, like, yeah, it's a pretty good boss. Then we're going to go with a more iconic one, Slappy. Oof. I think I'll just put him in S because of how iconic he is. Even though it can be a bit annoying to fight with how he just skates around and uses his flamethrower. Yeah, but I still enjoy doing his boss fight for the most part. It's only if I'm like trying to like save survivors at the same time when he's attacking me, when it can be a nightmare. So I try to avoid him when it happens. Alright, so let's go to like a crappy boss. I don't know if you can even call it a boss. This guy from Dead Rising 3, I forget his name, but I'm not really a fan of him, so put him in F. You just basically fight these remote controlled helicopters or something that he tries to kill you with, and you're just supposed to like destroy these switches or something. Then you basically encounter him and he shits himself to death. Like, it's just such a dumb ending to a boss fight, and just not really a boss fight, to be honest. And then we got the sisters from Dead Rising 2. Oh, where should I put these? I mean, I'm not really a big fan of when I have to fight these two, so I'll just put it in B because it's not awful, but I mean, you only have to at least defeat one of them. If you had to defeat two of them, I'll probably put it in like C or D, but since you only defeat one of them, I'll put it in B. It's not an awful boss fight, it's just all the things they're saying, like just basically sex references. It's just yeah. I don't know if you can say the best thing about the boss fight is the ending when you basically defeat one of them and they're like upset and they kill themselves because you basically killed their sister. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I got to say about that boss fight. And then there's the cop, the fat woman cop from Dead Rising 1, kind of like raping this girl, whatever the hell that was. I don't every time I see that cutscene, I'm just like, what the hell is this? I'll just put her in C. She can be a bit annoying, but she's not really that hard to fight, especially if using the Mega Buster or the chainsaw from, you know, Adam, which we'll get to him. But it's not really that much of a boss fight, really. It's just, it's only in a little area, so it's not meant to be a long boss fight. Yeah. Alright, so we'll just go with the Postman from Dead Rising 2. I'll just put him in B, but above the sisters. He's a pretty cool boss fight. Nothing too special, but I like his gimmick, I guess, with him just wanting to make sure he makes every delivery while he's in the zombie apocalypse, but it's gonna be postal and he's giving bombs to people. But I think when you defeat him, like, I'm not sure if he gives you a Zombex or not, but yeah. It's an okay boss fight. Then there's the fat lady from Dead Rising 3 who just wants food. She's an awful boss. Disgusting. One of the most disgusting boss in the whole franchise. Just the gimmick's terrible, like she throws up on you and everything. It's just disgusting. So it's a disgusting boss fight, and how it ends too. Flipping throws up to death, like, it's just disgusting. Yeah. Then you've got the Chuck Green one, which S, but man, because I don't know where. Damn, I'm just gonna put it here. Yeah, I just because this isn't Off the Record where you play as Frank West instead of Chuck Green, so instead they make Chuck Green lose his daughter and he just becomes a psychopath, thinking that Kate is still alive and he has to protect her from everyone. He's just completely messed up, and it's just so sad when you defeat him. This is a well done boss fight, even though it's just basically a cloned version from of a boss in Dead Rising 2. But yeah, Leon is it? Yeah, it's not a bad boss fight. It's basically the same as another boss, but it just adds a bit more things that wasn't in that boss, like Molotovs and stuff. But yeah, because of the emotional feel from the boss fight, yeah, this alternate timeline, like if Chuck lost his daughter, this is what would have happened to him. Yeah, makes you think. That's the main reason I'd put it that high. And then I guess this boss, F. But I'll put it above this because it feels like a boss fight, but it's like so bad. Because basically it's like a range boss fight where you have to try to get close to him, but since the old game doesn't really have the best way to like dodge attacks, especially shotgun attacks, it's bullshit. Like, it's the most bullshit boss fight you can have in the whole franchise, because he has a shotgun, and this is a boss fight that you take on in early game. If you don't really have decent weapons and you probably only have like 4 or 5 bars in early game, since it's so early, it's gonna be a hard boss to fight. Unless you defeat Adam beforehand and get his chainsaw, but still, it's going to be hard. But I've seen a YouTuber who recently made a video, which I'll probably do a little shout out to the guy. I'll leave a link in the description. Yeah. He basically found an easy way to defeat him, where you just at least get to the counter, grab a sniper, and then just snipe him from afar, which I never knew that all this time playing the game. So respect to that guy. I'll leave a link to his channel below in the description, the comments. But yeah. He's an annoying boss. Alright, so then there's these scientist guys from Dead Rising 2 near the end, before you fight Sullivan. Not really a boss, they're not really a proper boss, so I'm just putting them below this guy, which, I don't know, at least you fight him, so I'll just put him here. Yeah. Not really much of a boss fight, you can kill him so easily. Yeah. Probably the easiest boss fight you'll ever have in the whole franchise. Then there's the Cure Psycho. I'll put him in C, but above the fat cop lady. I mean, he's pretty creepy, but I wouldn't say there's too much to him. Just having like a twisted viewpoint and thinking Chuck Green was basically like him, and who knows if Chuck Green's inspired by him, even though Chuck Green's getting blamed for something he didn't do. But yeah. He's a creepy boss, but his actual boss fight can be a bit annoying with how he can just like stun you, then he can just hide in like a flipping bathroom area. It can be a bit annoying, and that's why I wouldn't really rate him that high. But for like being creepy, he does a good job there. Yeah, not the creepiest, but a good job. Then there's Kenny. I'll just put him above here. Yeah, he's just someone who, I guess, gets inspired by Nick to be a hero, but then he ends up doing something twisted out of nowhere and tries to basically get people killed, but I don't know if he's trying to save them at the same time. It's just, and then his actual boss fight is just pretty weird. It's like a mixture of Nick's moves, but in a weird way. And it's not too hard anyway, because it's Dead Rising 3. That's not really a hard game anyway. But yeah, it's not awful, but it's not great. Then you got her. I'll just put her above this person because they're basically kind of the same in a way, but she has like guns and soldiers, so it makes it a bit harder, but still not that great of a boss fight. Just basically being a sexual boss to like Nick and stuff. Yeah, instead of being sexual to basically this woman who she has tied up. It's just, they're both weird bosses, but yeah, and they're not too hard to defeat, so yeah. It's basically better than this one, that's what I'll say. Then there's Diego. He's actually a decent boss fight. I'd put him above B. Yeah, definitely above B. Yeah, it's an interesting boss fight, the way how it works. Because you're in like this museum, and you're basically in some spaceship area, and they kind of like do some cool stuff with that. And that's why I'd probably rate him the highest of B, because of how unique he is as a boss. Yeah, he's not hard or anything, but depends on your level and stuff, but since it's not really hard to like level up on Dead Rising 3 compared to the other games, like you can just level up so fast. Hell, you could get to the max level in one playthrough using like certain stuff like the Grim Reaper to level up. But yeah, but it's still cool. So on top of B, then there's Kenny. Oh my, he's a bitch, man. But since it's, I don't know, just because of how he works, I'd put him in like A. Yeah. Because you first meet him just basically saying that he's a better photographer than Frank West, then you have to prove yourself, then he ends up getting jealous, and I think he tries to kill someone, but then you have to stop him and all that. And he's a really hard boss, but it's like the right amount of challenge, and that's why I'd put him this high. Yeah. Just like Sullivan, he's supposed to be like one of the last bosses, if not the last boss you fight. Yeah. If you're not counting TK, but yeah. So he's a pretty good boss. And then there's the flipping star guy from Dead Rising 1. S. I'll put him above. Can I put him above Slappy? Yeah, definitely. Get out of my store! Man, it's just not gonna hit as hard in the remaster, man. It's not, man. It's not. Like, man, seeing that for the first time, flipping amazing. Every time I see it when I'm replaying the game, it's just amazing. Just, oh, you just have to see the scene, man. Like, oh my god, it's just so good. But yeah, just S tier boss, just flipping so iconic. Clean up on register sticks, so just like, the ending of the boss fight and everything. It's perfect. It's the perfect psychopath. Yeah. And then who should we go afterwards? As a beta, we'll just put her like C. And she's not really that unique or anything. She just rides on a flipping bike. She just tries to win you over and stuff. Not really unique, but I'd say at least better than these bosses. Yeah, not really much I can say about her. She's like a hugely important character to the franchise, but her actual boss fight's pretty lame, so it's not too special, but it's not like worst of the worst like these ones, but yeah. Then you got this one. She's at least harder than these three. Well, you could say she's harder than Kenny, so I'll just put her here. Yeah. Basically some henchwoman who you fight, and because you call her a man, like Nick calls her a man, she gets pissed, so you just end up fighting her for no reason. It's just a dumb fight. But how it starts. Some dead or alive BS, yeah. Where to just fight from something so simple. But yeah, it's still a fun boss fight, so not the best or the worst, but yeah, decent. And you've got the Butcher. I'll put him like bottom B. And it seems like they've changed his design in the remaster, but he's a decent boss, and it's kind of like, in a way, a timed boss, because if you take too long to defeat him, the main objective will fail, so it gives you like, you know, you have to defeat him fast, otherwise, you know, you're gonna fail the main story, because a character will get killed if you don't defeat him, and you will miss some information to, you know, to continue the story, basically. So yeah, it's just, I guess some people think like he's kind of like, wait, it's kind of stereotype or racist because of, you know, him being an Asian butcher, but I mean, it's just how creepy he is. That's what makes him a decent boss, yeah, above decent, yeah. And it being timed, like if you don't defeat him as fast as possible, you're gonna fail the whole story. So yeah, if you haven't saved the game for a long time, that would be even worse. But yeah, he's a decent boss, above decent, yeah. And then there's TK. I'll put him in A, bottom A. Decent boss. It's not too challenging. He has the right amount of challenge. And it's a great way to, I guess, end the game if you get the S rank ending. Yeah. He's a classic boss, and you gotta be willing to risk it all if you're ever really gonna win big. Yeah, he's just iconic for Dead Rising 2, so yeah. And then Kalito. But the sniper boss, oh my god, oh, he's even worse than flipping this guy. So just replaying the game recently with these two bosses, flipping disgusting. It's like disgusting in like the unfairness, because their premise of their bosses is not bad. It's like the unfairness, like where they can basically cheat to defeat you, man, because they have insane range. With like Kalito has insane range of his sniper. And Brad can be a bit useless and just lets you die. And then this guy, you can just shoot you from so far away. And you've barely got any cover. But I'm thinking in the remaster, you'll be able to use the flipping cover as a shield to get close to him and hit him. So that's what I'm thinking you'll be able to do. Because I've seen it with Kalito in the remaster. Like, in the P90 boss fight, you'll be able to like use shields like bowels and stuff. So that'd be cool. But yeah, I hate his boss fight. His second boss fight. His first isn't the best, but not as bad if it's on here, but yeah. Then there's this guy, the soldier guy from Dead Rising 1. Definitely up here, mainly because of his story, and he's also a bit stealthy. He's basically like someone who used to serve in the army. He comes back and then he basically ends up in another war, loses his family, and just completely loses his mind in a zombie apocalypse. And then you get to find out his backstory after you defeat him. It's a very sad ending to a boss fight. Wait, didn't I, oh yeah. But yeah, it's a very good boss fight. Yeah, S tier. Legendary. Then there's this guy, the Case Zero of Dead Rising 2. I'll just put him here. Yeah, I wouldn't put him too high. He's a decent boss. Basically the first boss you ever fight with. Chuck Green, if you actually start from Case Zero. He's a pretty cool boss, yeah. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, he's pretty cool. Then there's this guy, this monk from Dead Rising 3. He's not hard at all, so, but I'd say he's better than this person. So yeah, he's not hard. He's one of the first bosses you fight, and since Dead Rising 3 is not a hard game, it's just super easy. So yeah. Then there's this guy. Depending on your situation, if you have the chainsaw or not, he can be a breeze, but if you don't, flipping hell, he's hard. I'd put him. Oh man, where would I put him? I'd put him here because of like his coat and stuff, like helping him and everything. They're all around the mall, and then they're also there when you're about to fight him, and the actual boss himself. Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good boss. Yeah, it's just if you don't really have the best weapons when you're fighting him, and it's late in game, so you're gonna be a decent level, but it's just the weapons, your inventory. You have to have good weapons to fight this guy, otherwise you're gonna die a few times. Yep. Okay, the helicopter. I'll just put it in F because it's bullshit. I mean, it's a helicopter, it's hard to shoot it, so bullshit, F. Then there's this guy from Dead Rising 3. As a boss, he's not really that hard. I'll just put him bottom of C, because even she's a bit more challenging than this guy, so Gary, so yeah. Other than that, his character's cool, but as a boss fight, he's just not really that hard. Alright, to me anyway. Then there's the soldier guy. He can be a bit bullshit, but I wouldn't say he's too hard to fight. And just literally seeing him get to go crazy, seeing his whole team die and stuff. Oh man, I'd put him like... Oh, where would I put him? Oh god. Now I'm putting him A. Yeah, definitely A. Because you literally actually get to see him go crazy. Normally, you don't actually get to see the characters go crazy. You can just get a hint of why they went crazy, but you actually get to fully see why the soldier went crazy. He was basically on the rescue mission to save like the survivors that Chuck saved, but then they end up getting flipping devoured, like his team gets devoured by these special zombies that come out of nowhere. And he just goes crazy from seeing all that while trying to save them. Like, he just loses his mind, so he just views everything as a threat that comes around him. Yeah. But yeah, he's a great boss fight. Yeah, he's pretty cool. And that's why he's A. And I think I should put him above... I feel like I should put him above TK, but because of TK's importance, I won't do it. Yeah. So yeah, A. And then Leon, he's a dickhead, so A. His rivalry with Chuck Green is why he's A. Like, just such an asshole. And his boss fight, it's cool, I guess. It's just basically, you know, Chuck Green's boss fight, because it's basically the same, but this is like the first version. They're kind of expanding it with this and adding a bit of emotion, because you basically played as Chuck Green for a whole game, and now you have to fight him. Yeah. Where this, you're just playing as some guy you meet at the beginning of the game who's an asshole, taunting him, talking about his dead wife and all that. Like, it's his fault she died because he wasn't good at killing zombies. Like, just Jesus Christ. So yeah, for how much of an asshole he is and how satisfying it is to defeat him. Yeah, definitely A. And then there's this woman, not really a boss fight, so F. Yeah, she's not really a boss. You just do favors for her. You do some little musical thing where you have to press buttons, and then that's it. She's not a boss. And then this guy, the worst thing about this guy was trying to save him, and I'd put him like here, yeah, because just like Kenny, you get to basically save both of them after you defeat them, or you can just let them die, I guess. Yeah, which is cool, because he thinks that everyone's laughing at him, and then he burns a family, but then you basically defeat him and he's burning himself, so you have a choice to save him or let him die. Yeah, but if you save him, he'll give you infinite Molotovs, which can be really useful, or you can just let him die. But yeah, I guess he was just scared and just lost it, because he becomes a normal person afterwards when you save him, so yeah. Alright, so probably the most iconic from Dead Rising 3, the biker boss. Definitely deserves to be an A, but I prefer Leon because he's just such an asshole and beating him so satisfying. But when people talk about Dead Rising 3, they always talk about the biker boss, so he's one of the first proper bosses you fight. I'm not counting the Asian guy, the monk. he was too easy. But this is the one where you can have a little bit of a challenge, but he's not too hard. But it's still the most iconic from the game, like how Slappy is for Dead Rising 2. And for Dead Rising 1, let's just talk about the clown now, Adam. He's the best in the whole franchise. He's the only one that actually scares flipping Frank West. Man, so much fear in his eyes, and I can't wait to see how Frank looks in a remaster, even though I'm not a big fan of the design, because with what they can do now, they can put more fear in Frank's face. So I'm intrigued to see how it looks, yeah. And yeah, it's just flipping chainsaw is so OP. It's so OP, like basically you can just beat most of the game's bosses with ease with the chainsaw, which I just realized in my recent playthrough. Because when it comes to OP weapons, I guess that's the Mega Buster for me, when I like kill 53,594 zombies to get that. But the whole time you can just use the chainsaw and just beat most of the bosses with ease. Some you might need a bit more stuff like certain weapons to defeat bosses, but the chainsaw can get you through most of the game if you beat Adam. He's just a bit of a bitch to beat, but basically you just need to make sure you pop the balloon next to him and it will stun him, and you can just get some damage with like a pistol or Tech 9 or whatever you call it. Yeah, what you can find near the entrance of the safe house. Yeah, above. But yeah, legendary boss, the best in the whole franchise in my opinion. And then there's the Gimp one from Dead Rising 2. Definitely a top boss. This is definitely hard too, but yeah, I think when I put him above Kenny, or Kent, whatever I should call him, I'll just put him here because of how hard he is with his chainsaw. Like Jesus Christ, which sounds a bit wrong because yeah, if you've played the boss fight, yeah, Jesus, yeah, him trying to force marry someone so he can get down with them when that's not really what they want, and just killing his father, just Jesus Christ, and how hard he is, how satisfying it is to see him die by one of his other brides or whatever. Yeah, it's a cool boss fight. Okay, so Snowflake and flipping this guy, yeah, the special guy. Ted, yeah, Ted. Oh man, where should I put him? I'll just put him like here, because Snowflake, if you're actually not supposed to fight him, you're supposed to like feed him some steaks, then he'll actually join you, and he becomes like the most OP flipping survivor in the whole franchise, because flipping Tiger, flipping so OP, and you don't have to worry about going too far because it can actually just find where you are because, you know, it can smell you, I guess. And then Ted, he's pretty simple, the easiest boss you can fight at the beginning of the game. Yeah. And I'd say the second easiest boss in the game. You can just beat him with like a basic weapon, like a baseball bat or something. You don't need no combo weapons to get some massive damage or anything. You can just beat him with like a basic weapon. Yep. So yeah, and just the stuff with Snowflake is pretty cool. So close to the top of C. Yeah. The boss from Case West. I'll put him here. It's just hilarious the song they basically play when you're fighting him, flipping some Indian song, and his boss fight is pretty cool. Yeah, and how you have to work together to defeat him, like Frank and Chuck. Yeah, it's a pretty good boss fight. Just wish there was more than this boss in the game, though. But yeah, it was a good boss fight. Even though I don't know, it could come off a bit racist, but it was entertaining. Yeah. Not as racist as like flipping the Chinese guy, but yeah. But I didn't even really care. I just enjoyed playing these games, so I didn't care. But this generation just cares about that too much. So if they ever make like a Case West inside of Dead Rising 2, they'd probably like change him to like a white guy or something. Who knows? Jesus Christ. Because it was just cool to see different types of people in these games instead of just like, oh, they're all white and you just kill them. Yeah. Yeah, this guy, the chef, definitely an S tier. I'll put him above Chuck because of his iconicness. Antoine will make you dinner. Yeah, classic one. And how he can just actually heal too. And his stabs are crazy. Like he can just use his pan as well. Infinite flipping slap. So hilarious. I used to play co-op so many times doing this boss. Like, he'll slap you, and then he'll slap your friend, and then he'll slap you, and then he'll slap your friend. If you're trying to hit him, he'll just keep doing it and doing it until you're dead. It's just hilarious, like, iconic. And then there's the Gimp from Dead Rising 3. It's probably the most disgusting boss in the game. Even though, like, as a boss, he's fun to fight, but he's more disgusting than the fat lady. But I'll just put him above this person. It's because of how funny he is. I'll put him on top of D, which is just weird. Jesus Christ. And that's all I'm going to say about him, because if you've played the boss fight, yeah. And there's the cowboy, the sheriff from Dead Rising 2, and off the record, he's annoying as F. Like, he can just shoot any weapon that you have out of your hand. He can tie you up and beat you silly. He's an annoying boss fight. He's like a range one, and even in close quarters, it could be bullshit with his flipping nightstick or whatever. But it's like more like a welcome challenge instead of like extremely annoying, like some of the Dead Rising 1 bosses. But I'll put him here, yeah. Because he is entertaining, but it can also be annoying, especially if you're in a situation where you're trying to save survivors and then he comes out of nowhere and attacks you. Yeah, it can be very annoying, but great boss. Who should I rank next? I guess the snipers. Not really much of a challenge if you have like the chainsaw and stuff. I'll just put them bottom C, even though they have like a decent story. Yeah. With how one of them just wants to like not want to shoot you, but the other two are forcing him to actually shoot you. So you kind of feel sorry for like the youngest one, yeah. And you have to kill him instead of like maybe saving him, but you know, you basically killed his family, so he's not gonna want to like be on your side after that, yeah. Then there's the convicts from Dead Rising 1. Their son alone makes them so iconic, but I'll still put them like bottom S, yeah. And even if you defeat them, they can come back. But like the reward for defeating them is either using their vehicle or you can use the turret. Man, yeah, the turret can just help you get through a lot of zombies that get in the way in Dead Rising 1, because Dead Rising 1 has the hardest zombies, so yeah, they're so annoying. They nerfed them so much in Dead Rising 2, and they made them a little bit better in 3, but yeah. And it's mainly because they overwhelm you in 3 because they have so many on screen at once. Where 1, they were so hard, yeah. 2, they're just flipping. They're not a challenge at all, yeah. Until you get to the special zombies at the end game, but other than that, yeah. And then it's the magician and his assistant, S tier. I'll put them here. I love their boss fight. I love their theme. In a way to switch back. It's just so good. And then working together and the way how it ends, how the assistant always hated him. It's just perfect. Yeah. Alright, then there's these guys. I'll put them C. Oh, I'll put them above these snipers. Yeah, they can just be very annoying if you don't take care of them straight away, especially if you're trying to save survivors, and they can just shoot you from wherever you are when you're outside in Dead Rising 2. But yeah, they give you a decent challenge, more than these guys, so they're just basically above these snipers, yeah. Then there's the Doctor, probably my favourite boss fight in the whole game. So I'll put him like on top of B? Well, I feel like he deserves to be an A because of his uniqueness. But above Leon? I'll allow it, yeah. He's just a pretty unique boss fight because he can basically disguise himself as other survivors because he's drugged you. And if you attack the 1 people, you might end up killing people that you might be able to save. And if you don't stop him straight away, he'll end up killing survivors that you could also save. So it's a pretty unique boss fight, yeah. I guess there's the general at the end of Dead Rising 3. I'll just put him on top of C. Nothing special, he isn't too hard. But he gets probably one of the most brutal deaths in the whole franchise when you defeat him, yeah. Flipping helicopter blade. So he's a cool boss. Then there's the TK boss fight. This is basically a better version of this, so I'll just put it there. Like the helicopter one, yeah. And then there's this one, Because of the uniqueness, I'll put him in like top of B, because you're basically fighting like a giant robot. Yeah. It's a pretty cool boss fight. Yep. Even though it doesn't feel like Dead Rising, but it's pretty cool. Then there's this guy from Dead Rising 3, who you get to play as in like one of the DLCs. He's not too hard, so where should I put him? I'll just put him above Kenny. Yeah. Can't really say much about him, but he has a decent story. You're basically playing as, you get to play as him in like the DLC, and then it leads up to the point where you actually fight him. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Then there's this guy who seems like he's your ally, but he turns against you near the end of the game. And since this is a decent challenge, I'll put him here. Not here. Yeah, that feels right. No. Here. Oh my god, I'm trying to put him like here. Yeah. He's a decent challenge, so yeah, I'll just put him here. Decent boss. Even though you could, they kind of like hint that he's gonna betray you, but yeah. Decent boss anyway. Alright, I can't fully see properly what boss that is there, so I'll try to come back to that. And I'm not sure why he's here twice, so I'm just gonna whatever. Then there's Adam's brother. Like, he's a pretty cool boss. I'll just put him on top of A because of his uniqueness. Yeah. It's like a unique version of Adam. Wow, Adam's just like the definition of iconic in the franchise. Yeah. But I just love how he's so small, and he basically stands on these fins, and he can kick you. And then if you destroy him, like, he'll just flip in you're basically fighting a midget. It's just hilarious, that boss fight. And he has like an ice gun and stuff, and you can use it against him in the end, and use his weapon afterwards. Like you can with most of the bosses. It's a cool boss, yeah. Oh yeah, this is not really much of a boss, so I'll just put him here. Yeah. It's basically one of the survivors that you get to save, but he ends up turning against you, and you save someone else instead. Yeah. In Dead Rising 3. I can't fully see which boss that is right now. I really can't see. I just can't properly see which ones these are. And I don't really recognize that one for some reason. But this guy, because of how challenging he is, definitely above Sullivan. Like, he's just trying to fight him again in flipping Dead Rising 1. Oh my god, he's such a bitch to fight. You just gotta find the right kind of moves to be able to defeat him, because you can only use your hands to defeat him. And he's like a proper trained soldier. Like, he's the boss of like the unit who's going around killing zombies and people at the end of Dead Rising 1 in the overtime mode. So yeah, he's really challenging after like the tank boss fight. But yeah, if you know the right moves to use against him, it won't be too hard, but he can still be pretty challenging if he gets a lucky blow and strangles you to death. Yeah, breaks your neck. But yeah, don't recognize this boss, so I'll just put the ones I don't recognize in F. And then we'll just end it with her. Her boss is nothing too crazy. Pretty simple. But I guess top of D. She's basically using machines to fight you, so yeah, pretty simple. So yep, that's all my ranking for now, until in the future where I might do a future tier list. If Dead Rising 5 gets announced, then I'll play Dead Rising 4, a game I've never wanted to play, but I'll play it if it finally gets confirmed, if the remastered as well. But yep, that's it for my tier list. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know who your favourite Dead Rising bosses are. I'm sure you can leave a like. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.